I'm Kayla for Pop Entertainment. Thank you so much for meeting with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So, first of all, it's so great to meet you. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. My name's Emily Tosta, and I'm an actress and activist. I started acting in Dominican Republic, which is where I was born and raised, and I moved to this country to continue to pursue my dream when I was 12 years old with my mama, and here we are in LA.
So, you started your acting career in the Dominican Republic as low as the age of 8 in theater productions. What made you really want to start acting, and would you say that it has always been a passion for you?
Acting has definitely always been a passion for me. When I was little, I would always make my family sit around the living room and I would always act out plays and be like every character in the play. And my family knew that every time somebody came over to visit, they were going to be forced to sit in the living room and watch me act and dance and do all these things. So ever since I was little, my mom always thought that I had a passion for acting, and she was always been super, super supportive. So she started taking me to auditions over there, and I started doing commercial work and then theater, and that's how I started.
So you really have been doing it your whole life. That's amazing, and you've come
Literally.
so far since then. Is there anyone, a family member, actor, celebrity who really inspired you to get into the film and television industry, would you say?
So I guess I have like a mixture of inspirations for very many reasons. First of all, my mom has always been a huge inspiration, not because she is in the entertainment industry at all, because she's not, but just because she has so much resilience and so much strength and so much power. And she has just always been so supportive of me. So she's a huge inspiration for everything that I do every single day. And then aside from that, when it comes to a little bit more of the craft side of things, ever since I was a little girl, I would always see American television because I was born and raised in Dominican Republic. So my first language has always been Spanish, and I learned English when I moved to this country. So I would watch American television over there. That, by the way, was voiced by Spanish actors, so their mouths would be moving in a different way. So that was interesting. But aside from that, and I would always see like there's not a lot of girls that looked like me. And the first woman that I saw that looked like me on TV was America Ferrera. And ever since I saw her, I was like, oh my God, if she's doing it, maybe I can do it too, you know? And I think that was so important for me as a little girl growing up watching TV. And that's the reason why I always want to embrace my culture for other also young people that are watching TV and film, so that if they have a dream or if they're inspired to do something, they can see like, okay, she's doing it. That means I can do it too, because that's exactly what happened to me with America.
That's an amazing way to look at it. And also, you have your inspirations, but also being an inspiration for younger girls. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Um, so, while you've worked on both movies and television shows, including Bikes, Rosewood, Mayans MC, season 3 is coming out soon, which is super exciting. Now, Willys Wonderland coming out February 12th, which is also super exciting. What would you say are major differences in filming a television show versus a film?
There's a lot of differences, even when it comes to the technical side of things, when it comes to camera placing and how they do certain takes. There's a lot of differences. And another thing, too, when it comes to character work, for example, when I'm doing a show, now we're on to season 3 of Mayans. So my character has been developing for like 3 years, and hopefully we get even more seasons. But when it comes to a film, you only have like 2 or 3 months with a character, and that's so nostalgic because it's just like you have such a short amount of time to work on this character and to build this life and step into these shoes. And then you just like drop it and never come back to it again. So I would say that those are probably the major differences.
Do you prefer filming one over the other, would you say?
I've been asked this question before so many times by my friends and family, and it always makes me think like if I had to choose one to do for the rest of my life, and I'm always like at a stop because I'm like I don't know because I love TV and I love film, and I have different reasons why I'm so passionate about both. So can I pick both?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, obviously, you get to develop your character more in television, but they're obviously both such different experiences, in their own way. So, speaking of Willys Wonderland, can you tell us a little bit about the film and your character Liv?
Yes, so Willy's Wonderland was such a fun film to make. I got the honor and blessing to work with somebody like Nicolas Cage, which is an Oscar winning actor. And that was just such an amazing experience. And he was so wonderful. Everybody else in the cast and crew was absolutely wonderful as well. My character's name is Liv Hawthorne, and she is a little bit of a troublemaker. I always keep making these like troublemaking characters. She's a little bit of a troublemaker, and she has this very, very, very strong dream of leaving this town because the town, without spoiling too much, has kind of been poisoned by very, very bad people, if we want to say it like that, without spoiling too much. And she has this group of friends, and she just has this mission of leaving this town. And then she encounters the janitor, which is Nicholas's character, and they definitely take over Willys Wonderland.
So, would you say you're more similar to Liv or different than her? And what do you like and or dislike about her?
We definitely have some similarities, but also some differences. She is very, very strong and determined, which is something that my mom has always taught me to be since I was a little girl. So I would say that's the parts in which we are similar. And when it comes to differences, there's a lot of differences. Like, for example, her will to like sort of kill people, not people, but animatronics, like that's different. There's a lot of differences, and just like it's fun to experience those differences within characters because you sort of get to see things from a different perspective. And I think that's why I love acting so much, because you get to step into different people's shoes and see life through their lens, and it's such an interesting thing because it gives you a lot of perspective on other people.
So, what would you say the biggest challenge in taking on Liv's role specifically would be? Also, being your first motion picture leading role.
So that alone was a huge blessing in itself. It was so amazing that my first leading role in a film was opposite Nicolas Cage. I still think of it and I'm like, whoa, that really happened. Because I would watch him when I was a little girl when I didn't even speak English. And I was just like, wow, watching him on TV and awe of his work. And then next thing I know, I'm in the States speaking English and working with him in a movie. It's just crazy. So I would say that obviously stepping into the shoes of being the female lead of a film is a huge deal. But I was very blessed with wonderful people and a wonderful crew, and it was a very supportive environment, especially from Nicholas himself. And aside from that, it was just a very different project than anything I've ever done. Obviously, there was the concept of horror involved in it, which is something that I had never done before. So there was also a lot of action and a lot of movement and a lot of stunts and a lot of things that we were doing. And that was really, really fun to do. So yeah, I would say there was a lot of things that were very new for me, and it was really exciting.
So, what has it been like working alongside Nicolas Cage and such a talented cast, especially now during a pandemic specifically?
Yeah, it was actually crazy because we finished filming right before the whole country shut down. So we were in Atlanta and it was the craziest timing. We were in Atlanta and we just finished, and I remember we had a wrap party and we actually went to like a public place filled with people. Like insane to think about nowadays, right? And then I fly back to LA, and I was actually supposed to leave to New York for work, and I fly back and I'm packing, and then next thing I know, there's all over the news that the whole country is shutting down. And I was like, uh-oh, well, here we go. I don't know what this is going to be about, but it was like in the beginning of everything. So it was really crazy timing, the fact that we were able to finish the film right before everything. And working pre-quarantine and now working like during-ish post-quarantine is just such a crazy difference.
Yeah,
Everybody on set with all these guidelines and all of these things that you have to do, and it's just crazy looking back and seeing that my last project pre all of this was Willys Wonderland, and how everything was done. It just makes me think like, wow, we are really living in such different times in such a short amount of time.
Oh, for sure. It's been less than a year and everything has
No,
changed.
everything has changed. Yeah, it's crazy.
So, what would you say some major differences are between filming like pre-COVID and during COVID would be, obviously, besides like wearing masks?
Yeah, I would say everything, even how the cast and crew are sort of divided into zone A and zone B, and like the people from zone B can't come to zone A. And then the fact that you have to get tested, I have to get tested 3 times a week for work. And obviously there's just so many rules and so many guidelines for everybody's safety and security, which I completely agree with. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of differences. Before we would be like roaming around set, talking to everybody, sitting with everybody, eating with everybody. Like we would all, nobody would eat in their trailers. Well, when we were filming the movie, we were all such a cute little family. It's like we all wanted to eat with each other. So we would sit around and just mess around and play. And that's like not something you can really do anymore, which is so sad. I know, but hopefully the world gets back to normal at some point.
Yeah, I mean, as long as people, listen, and hopefully everyone starts getting vaccinated so we can, get back to real life.
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing too. People just listening to everything that we have to do.
So, what is one thing that you think the audience, or that you think or you hope the audience will take away after watching Willys Wonderland and might talk about on their ride home?
I really hope that they just have a fun experience. All of these characters are so different from each other, and every single character is going on their own journey throughout this movie. So you're definitely going to be able to relate to anybody because everybody's so different, and it's like you have a little piece of every personality throughout the movie. So I hope that they just have a fun time. I hope they get scared. I hope they laugh. I hope they smile and cry and get sad and upset. And I just want them to go on this journey with us because it was such a fun journey to film and to make. So hopefully that can portray onto the screen and the audience can also feel that as well.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to any of your fans, supporters, family, or anyone watching?
I would first of all like to say thank you so much for supporting my craft and for allowing me to do what I do. If it weren't for the people watching my projects and watching our films and our TV shows, I definitely wouldn't be able to do what I do. So first of all, super, super grateful and thank you so much. And at the same time, I want to let them know that if there's any dream that they want to pursue, if there's anything that they want to do, don't give up because I came to this country with nothing, and where I am now is like beyond what I would have ever imagined. And I want everybody watching, everybody listening to know that if I was able to do something, you can do it too. And I think that's one of the most important things that I want to do throughout my career, to be able to inspire others and to be able to encourage everybody that if there's something that they want to do, if there's something that they're passionate about, they just have to have faith and perseverance and determination and just work hard and focus on yourself and stay positive.
So that is actually all that I have for today, but thank you so much for your time. It was amazing to talk to you and meet you.
Thank you. It was so lovely to meet you. And I love your background. It's so amazing. Oh my gosh.
Tapestry in the back too.
It's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much again. Have a good rest of your day.
Of course. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.